Welcome to Okaloosa Today, local news and information. Connecting the communities of Fort Walton Beach, Destin, and Okaloosa County.
Hello and welcome to the Okaloosa Today Show, connecting you with news about your county, the city of Destin, and the city of Fort Walton Beach. I'm Kathy Newby, Public Information Officer for Okaloosa County, and as you probably know, we have two new commissioners this year, and today we have another one of those as our guest. Welcome, Commissioner Wines.
Thank you, Kathy. My pleasure to be here.
Well, we're going to talk about several important issues for Okaloosa residents and what you've been doing in your first 6 months as commissioner. Why don't we start with an update on the Brooks Bridge incident that was recently hit by a barge, and we did some temporary repairs. What's next, Commissioner Wines?
Well, the FDOT has contracted with Anderson, Columbia to fix the bridge. It's going to take, looks like, about 3 weeks. During that time, the Water and Sewer Department will work on hanging the pipes and putting new hangers and all on there. But I tell you, the main thing about this whole incident is how quick the response was, how complete, how good a job that our Water and Sewer and our Sheriff's Department did on getting something under control that could have been catastrophic. I mean, they knocked it out quick, and we really owe them all a nice attaboy.
That's right, because they saved the water line, the only water line to the island. So
exactly.
that was really great. And of course, they will be there throughout the process while FDOT makes those repairs, just in case something goes wrong. And they're going to do all that work, from what I understand, from 9 p.m. till 5 in the morning. So it won't impact any residents traveling that road. So so within 3 weeks, that'll be done. And we're going to talk. We're going to move on to another big management plan, the inlet management plan in Destin Harbor, and specifically Destin East Pass.
This plan is a big deal in our end of the county around Destin. For years, the inlet management plan did not allow sand to be put in only very specific places, primarily on the downside of the pass, which is the west side, and it was just real strict on very little latitude in doing what we want to do when we want to do it. This new inlet management plan, it will allow us to put the sand where it is most needed. Now, what we have to make very clear is all the sand is not going to be put on the east side if it's needed there, but a portion of it will be allowed to go over there, and that's a great improvement over what happened in the past. The old plan, to me, defied all common sense. You'd have a dredge right next to a place where you need it, and you'd pump it half a mile away because the Corps or the FDEP or basically the inlet management plan would not allow you to use it as we thought we needed it. So,
and that's where it came from.
Yeah, that's right. So this is, I think, a great step in the right direction as far as being able to do the greater good with that sand.
And that pass is so important, a huge economic driver with our largest fishing fleet in the state of Florida. So
that's
very,
right.
very important work they're doing out there.
Arguably the largest plan. We've been questioned on that, but we've got a great fleet out there, and we're proud of it. And I believe this will help it'll help the tourism. It'll help the properties that draw the revenue into the county, that pay the taxes. And so all in all, this seems like a good thing. I'll support the inlet management plan, the new one, as a fisherman.
Well, talking about tourism, let's move on to the Tourist Development Council. We have some new council members, and you are holding the first meeting this month, and you, of course, Commissioner Wines, are the county liaison, the commissioner liaison on that council. So you want to update our residents on the new TDC members?
Well, the new TDC members, we meet tomorrow, as a matter of fact, with the new board, with the new membership. We've got a blend similar to the Okaloosa County Board of County Commissioners. We've got some old ones and some new ones, and hopefully it'll balance out and make a good panel to make the right decisions. The TDC is you know, under scrutiny more now than ever. We've had some problems, and we all acknowledge that, and mistakes were made, but we're trying to get past that and rebuild the confidence and the integrity of the operation. For instance, the whole policy and procedures manual has been rewritten. The TDC director, of course, is gone now. We got a new director, Dan O'Byrne's doing a good job. He's easy to get to. He's very communicable. His heart's in the right place. He's got to get his feet on the ground a little better. I mean, you know, experience will do that, but I think he's going to do a good job.
Yeah, and like you say, he's the new Tourist Development Department director. I just wanted to.
Right. But it appears to me to be a good board, and I was pleased with the fact that we had quite a few applications to pick these board members. You know, with all the water under the bridge, I was curious who would respond, but it's going to be
a good response.
I think a real good response. Yeah.
Very good.
I see optimism there. Let's put it that way.
Very good. And we'll have a good tourist season this year, we hope. While we're on this subject of, because this goes right along with it, is the Restore Act. Commissioner Wines, I mean, I know we have been working very hard on that, and of course Restore is from the BP settlement and will benefit the counties that are impacted by the Deep Horizon oil spill. So there's 8 counties involved who will get the majority of this money. So where are we at with some of those issues?
Of course the litigation is ongoing, so the exact number has not been determined yet. If you had to pick a number as far as just an estimate, the number that's thrown around mostly out there is about $60 million. It could be more, it could be less, but any way you look at it, that's a pretty good piece of change for Okaloosa County to have to do the projects that are the most needed and get the most bang for the buck. And we got a Restore committee that's going to be comprised of 11 people. They have not all been named yet, but the structure's in place, and I think in the next couple of meetings we'll have our full committee in place.
And that structure it includes municipalities, it includes chamber members, it includes citizens.
League of Cities appoints a couple. The board will have some that they appoint at large through an application process, and then some will be appointed by municipalities and chambers and such as that. But 11 people, and I'm confident that we'll get a good slate of people with experience that'll help. They don't make the decisions, they bring the advice to the board who makes the final decisions on these projects.
And they're environmental projects and infrastructure projects, so
right.
A lot of opportunities really for our county to meet some of those needs that we haven't really had the money to do.
Exactly, and our task,
improve our parks, improve our waterways.
Exactly. Our task as commissioners is to be very sure that we pick the very best projects, utilize this money as best we can, and we don't want to spend it all at once. We want to take our time, pick and choose. I always say measure twice and cut once. We want to do it right because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and most important.
And we want citizen input and like
Absolutely.
You say, get the most for our money, and I think you said to me earlier, be proud of what we've done.
Exactly. That's important to look back and say, well, we did a good job and we came ahead.
And with that much involvement, I think that's definitely a possibility. Do you want to talk about Triumph Gulf Coast, or do you want to?
Well, I went to Tallahassee yesterday. Myself and Mr. Parasot went over there, and there was about 10 local officials that spoke on this concept, this Triumph Gulf Coast,
which is a state initiative.
It's a state committee that they want to form to help us counties spend our money. Well, of course, that drew a lot of criticism and skepticism right off the bat. So, like I said, 10 local officials went down there from these 8 counties, and all of them had basically the same thing to say in different words. They were concerned about the state taking the authority of delegating the funds. But at the last minute, they had an amendment to amendment, if you will, that struck the language about the restore funds in the entire bill. That's not to say it can't rear its ugly head again, but it's when I left there, I felt like that we had come ahead and cleared things up. One senator, in fact, who I highly regard, said in the newspaper, some of you may have read it, this bill right now is clear as mud. Well, that's the way I saw it going into the meeting, but as it went along and as the speakers got their say-so and as some of the it was the Senate Appropriations Committee. As they listened and adjusted and explained the amendment to the amendment, I had a better feeling when I left than when I got there. So I thought it was a good trip.
Well, good, because yeah, that's going to be a great opportunity for our counties, and we've got a committee in place to handle that. Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to talk about our fiscal 14 budget.
Yeah, it's going to be another challenge this year. It has been for the last 5 years, I guess. I mean, I hadn't been here all that time, but if you look back over the numbers, I think over the last at least 6 years, they've cut something like over 100 employees, trying to, in an effort to sharpen our pencil and save money. You got department heads that are doing double duty, not just their department, but other responsibility as well. Lots fewer employees, and the budget for the last 5 years, if you average it out, has been cut about $10 million a year over the last 5 years. So we're doing exactly the things that a family has to do when they sit around their kitchen table. You know, we're prioritizing, we're cutting where we can, we're determining what we have to have, and we're doing what we need to do, not what we want to do. Right. And that's what we're going to have to continue to do on this next budget cycle.
Well, and we, you know, when the board and the departments and the employees are looking at this, I mean, it's divided. I like to tell our residents that we kind of look at it in 3 different categories, one being public safety and the departments and the constitutional officers that come under that, one being essential services, you know, which you got to have essential services in the county. You got to have water, you got to have sewer, you got to have roads, that kind of thing, and also our quality of life issues, which are the things that attract people to live in Okaloosa County. You know, you want to have good, strong libraries and nice parks and something for everyone there under that quality of life. That's an important category as well. But again, when we start cutting, you know, we got to look at all those categories, and it's a tough job.
Absolutely. Of course, I campaigned on public safety, and I know that's the #1 item in a survey.
From our survey.
So, you know, the Sheriff's Department has made do on less money lately than they feel like they need. If we have any uptick in the economy, and the property appraiser has told me that he's expecting 1.5% to 2% raise in the property values, which will affect the increase in the ad valorem taxes. So not much, but I mean, at least it's a step in the right direction. If the rest of the, and by the way, the ad valorem taxes only generate, I think, 18–19% of the overall budget, so that's not all that drives the
train.
That's right, the train. I was going to say boat. But I see, now this is just an opinion, and I hope I'm not wrong, but I see a slight uptick in the economy. I think we may get, if we get a surprise in our revenues this year, it may be on the favorable side. I'm hoping that's true. So, you know, the business cycles, if you watch them over the years, it's up and it's down, and despite whatever they do in Washington, there is some optimism out there. We're ticking up, and if it'll just continue, we can overcome this thing, I think.
So it's very preliminary at this stage, and we certainly encourage our citizens to get involved and attend our meetings and get involved in the budget process. A lot of times citizens have some pretty great ideas. One of our graphs does show that our income recently has been at the 2005 level, and here it is, you know, we're going into 2014 budget, so that's something to keep in mind. That does make our challenges great, and but again, this is very preliminary, and we'll continue to talk about this topic for many months to come, and please engage with us on that topic. You want to share a little bit of information about yourself, Commissioner Wines, for those who might not know you. I know you've been around a long time. About your district and about the, well, you've lived here a long time, and about your first 6 months as commissioner. Well,
of course, I was born and raised here, and I've been in I'm 3rd generation charter boat fisherman, so I'm well acquainted with the tourism and the fishing industry, and I served 4 years on the Destin City Council and got a taste of politics, but this is a bigger animal that I'm involved in right here. it takes a lot more time. It's more tedious. I thought, I drank the Kool-Aid and believed what they said it was a part-time job. I've been fishing one time on my boat myself. Now, I got some other boys that run it occasionally, but to do this job right, it's not a part-time job. You just can't do it. There's too many meetings, and it might settle down a little after we get over some of these issues.
Right.
But we got a lot on our plate right now. We just hired the new administrator, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But it's just been more involved than I thought it would be. But like I told one of the other commissioners when he was talking about how much time it took, I told him I've come to play. This is one of those jobs you can't do it halfway. You got to jump in with both feet.
Right, and it will get easier as you all become more experienced in
I hope you're right.
How this budget process goes. And
yeah.
you know, you learn once you do one budget and once you do anything. So it's a little bit easier the next time, hopefully. Yes, we do have we want to take a moment to thank Mr. Curry for his 35 years of service and welcome our new county administrator, Ernie Padgett. We're going to have him on a show very soon. And do you have anything to say about that?
Well, of course, I've met Ernie. I've met with him 3 or 4 times already. He's most involved. He's out there running with both feet. I tell you, my first take on him and first impressions to me are important because it just sets the tone. I mean, you know what to expect. Ernie's been in the county administrator for 3 counties for approximately 30 years. He's got a wealth of experience that we're going to need right now.
Right.
For instance, yesterday when I went to Tallahassee, he called me before I went and he said, "You got your pencil?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Write these names down. Here's his number, this name, that number." I think he knows most everybody over in Tallahassee over the years, the players, the ones you need to talk to. So he's going to be a big advantage for us. He's definitely going to be an asset. He's got motivation, he's got experience, and I can tell you this: he's going to be a people person. He walks the halls, you know. I like that. And but getting back to what you said about Mr. Curry, you know, I worked with him for 6 months. I don't know how many times I met with him, but I know one reason he retired was so he wouldn't have to meet with Kelly Wines 2 or 3 times a week. But, you know, when you're first getting started, you want to be sure about things. You want to cover all the issues of the meeting and know what you're talking about and not be embarrassed. And that's what the people are counting on. So, I mean, he was a good resource, so I used him. But he did real good. We're sorry to lose Jim, but he's gone on to the next chapter. But we're going to be in good hands with Ernie Padgett. He instills confidence in people. I think we're in good shape. Well,
thank you so much for joining us today,
Thanks
Commissioner Wines, and you've given us a wealth of information. And I'm going to give you a little bit more and share our public information update with you for the county. And May is Military Appreciation Month, so I would like to share some photos of the Doolittle Raiders' 71st and final reunion. The Doolittle Raiders' famous raid on Tokyo in World War II was, of course, a turning point in the war, and we owe our gratitude to these brave military men and our men and women who are serving today. So we just want to make sure we thank you for your service. I also want to let everyone know that Public Safety has an app for emergency management. So search Okaloosa from your app stores and get the free Ready Okaloosa app. Hurricane season begins June the 1st, and we have a new sea of green on Okaloosa Island. The dunes have been planted out there, and during beach restoration in Destin, we saved 11 Kent Ridley turtles, 1 leatherback, 1 loggerhead, 1 green turtle. All those were successfully relocated. And let's see, what else do I have for you today? Oh, the time capsule has been selected to be on exhibit at the Heritage Museum once we get it filled. Up next is Doug Rayner with the City of Destin.